All right. Well, gotta say, gotta imagine Starburst feeling pretty confidently. Again, cruise through up to this point. Now they await whoever ends up coming across this gauntlet of incredibly close teams here towards the end. We're starting with Essence versus Cherry Limeade by the looks of it. And look, Rissa, everyone knows Cherry Limeade.
Yes.
Do we need to introduce them? We probably should. But like,
You know,
do we need to introduce
as
them?
professionals, we probably should.
Professionals.
No, I was kidding.
Yeah. Of course, you all probably know Cherry Limeade. They've attended a lot of these LAN events before, most notably winning Shine last year was one of the things that they were looking forward to. They've also come out on top in a handful, or came out on top of a Proving Grounds tournament, and of course, fourth place in one of the Inkopolis Showdown events. But look, this is a team that's known to try to push certain weapons to the extreme, right?
Yes.
This is a team that's known to try to have some weird things end up coming out, and I'm excited to see what they might pull out for us here today.
Yeah, it's always a treat when you get to watch Cherry Limeade play these intense sets like this, because you know they're going to come out with different comps that we typically don't see. We typically see that the meta, which is, you know, the splash machine, quote unquote. So getting to see what Cherry Limeade pulls out, you know, they try and figure out ways to play around the meta. So it's always makes it really interesting to see what they do.
On the other side, of course, we've got Essence here, which is interesting when we talked about some of these players already. The other player to note here, I think one of the keys is Baha on the Tetra Dualies in a lot of cases. Solo queue warrior turned tournament organizer, now starting to compete a little bit in some of our tournaments, which is fun to watch out for here. But I'm really curious to see what they're going to end up coming through here with the rest of this team behind them. Because, again, I mean, this is the team that sent Last Resort down to losers bracket.
Yeah.
So I imagine, you know, Last Resort might be rooting for Essence just so that they can get a run back versus them. Because I imagine both Slacker and Char are already trying to cook up what they're going to pull up against this team next. If they get to that point, of course, we'll see Last Resort in a moment, who has to go up against Red Sun first. Or not Red Sun, sorry. Smoothie first. I have the bracket memorized. I'm good. I'm good.
Good job.
All those years of TOing have only prepared me to sit down and be able to memorize the bracket right before we go live here on the commentary desk. But nonetheless, right, all of this aside, I imagine this Essence team going to be pretty aggressive, going to be pretty in your face, because that tends to be what these Tetra Dualies want to do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This team is going to be trying to figure out how to utilize that Tetra best. And if that Tetra is able to get set up, whether it's on flanks, whether it's just getting into mid, you know, anything they need to do, whether it's pushing objective, playing defense, they're going to be playing around that Tetra and making sure they use their specials, making sure they, you know, try and take on fights with the Tetra, get some chip damage for them to get picks. That is going to be the main key here for Essence, especially against Cherry Limeade. They're going to have to try and figure out how to scramble up Cherry Limeade and, you know, be that Tetra aggression that they need.
And you want to talk about that Tetra aggression, let's talk about the map that's coming up. Tower Control and Inkblood Art Academy will be our first map. We're going back to the standard map list that we've seen earlier in the day today because we're back out of top 4. Counter picks are only for top 4, I think. So we're heading back out of that. It's this predetermined map list. So we saw Tower Control Inkblood get played by Starburst in the winner's semis match. And now we'll see if that pressure can start getting picked up here by Essence, and what Cherry Limeade might try to do to attempt to slow things down, because I imagine there are some threats, offensive threats on the other side of the map as well. Pika, most notably, probably running around doing whatever, pairing up with Krim, running around doing whatever, and then with the support, of course, from Lily and Shiny. So I think this one's going to be an interesting one for sure, as we start to solidify these teams' play styles and what they want to do as we head further along in the bracket tonight.
Yeah, of course, this first game is going to be that tell sign where these two teams figure out how to play against each other, figure out what they need to do moving on forward through the rest of the games of the set. And man, this is what K-Bot and I were talking about, the teams that are so close in skill level and anything could happen. I mean, this is going to be down to the wire once we head into this set.
Yeah, so this will be a fun one, folks. If you haven't already, like, gone to the bathroom, like, go quickly now, like go quickly, because you won't want to miss any of the games once they start, probably from this point out, as we start to continue building this up, because again, this entire bracket so far, I mean, so many teams, as you mentioned, Rissa, so close in skill level that it was so hard. I mean, I wasn't asked to do seeding. Shocker, folks. Again, I'm not working anymore. But
retired, no, just kidding.
Retired, yeah, retired. But yeah, much to the dismay of Popgun, who takes a photo of me sitting at the TO desk while I'm not doing anything other than just sitting there. I promise, folks, I was just sitting there. That was the only thing I was doing. I was just babysitting the posters.
Right.
I was babysitting the posters. Somebody's got to do it.
I know.
Man, I can't catch a break. You know, I can't catch a break. What's up with that? What's wrong with that?
I don't know.
Man. But anyway, so, but a lot of these teams incredibly close, and they've got to be feeling a little bit nervous as we head into this one. You know what's going to make them feel maybe a little more nervous? A few words from Stu, the announcer. So let's send it back on over to him, your MC, as we continue carrying on in our top 6 for Splatoon 3 at Low Tide City.
Starburst is safely in grand finals. Now we must find them a challenger. Could it be one of these two teams sitting in the elimination side in quarterfinals? Introducing first, the team of Baha, Ibiwumi, Sune, and Nilla. This is Essence! Introducing now on the other side, this is a team that has found a lot of success within the past years. The team of Pika, Lily, Shiny, and Cremathy. Hope you're thirsty. It's Cherry Limeade. The stakes are clearer than ever. Winner goes on, loser goes home. Rissa, K-Bot, take it away.
That's it. Only one loss remaining for our teams here left, of course, save for Starburst, who's waiting in Grand. So we got a while until we have to worry about that. Is Essence and Cherry Limeade up? Hi, Essence. We got a squeaky among us. Doom, 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 doom.
I love that I can hear that all the way over here.
There we go.
Look at that.
Huge.
The crowd getting hype here, of course, for this match. And, I mean, this match is going to be, I feel like it's just going to be down to the wire here.
But, Rissa, the real question, I think, out of the teams remaining is who's the real imposter?
No.
What do you mean, no? What do you mean, no?
Not the Among Us.
Well, we have to work it in somehow.
Yeah, true.
Like, that's like our job, kind of.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Working in Among Us jokes.
Yeah. That's the only
You know
Among
what?
Us joke I've
You're
got.
pretty sus for that.
That's fair. You know what? That's fair. I had that one coming. I did have that one coming. Folks, we are heading back to... This is... trying to figure out what maps we're actually on. Maybe I shouldn't have started talking before I actually figured that out myself. You know.
Yeah, you can
I
talk
hate
us
it when
through
that
it.
happens. I'm pretty sure we're still in losers quarters because there are 2 losers quarters matches, then there's a losers semis match, then there's a losers finals match. So I think we're heading back to Tower Control Inkblot. Yeah. I'm getting my rounds confused now because we were talking about Tower Control Inkblot and how Baja was going to run forward. There's the maps. Thank you, production, for working on that. They are continuing to work on things and put things together. But, folks, I heard the whistle, which means it's battle time. Cherry Limeade versus Essence here as we get set up. It's Tower Control on Inkblot Art Academy. We'll see what comes out here. It's Baja on the Tetras, and the Wiper comes out here as well. Again, we were talking about this, Rissa. 2 weapons that are going to want to be incredibly in the face of Cherry Limeade.
Oh, absolutely. And paired with the support of a splash and that splatter scope, I think it's going to be really interesting to watch here. Looking at the other side, too, Cherry Limeade does have a 96 cal, a splash of themselves, and then a try and a jet sculpture as well. Right away, though, Cherry Limeade taking the tower, using specials to start pushing forward and having a lot of aggression here initially.
All that said, though, the defense holds here for Essence as you see some of their long-range weapons come out all the same. And one of the things I will say, Rissa, Cherry Limeade sounds energetic. They are waiting for this one, and they are looking to make a deeper run in this bracket. I can hear them from here. And now, the thing, though, is that this tower is tending to get stalled out at both these first checkpoints as these teams are utilizing their defensive resources incredibly well.
They really are. I like that both teams are utilizing their defenses really nicely. A pick going down, one member going down on the side of Cherry Limeade here, and now actually here comes that Tetra that we were talking about, pushing forward and trying to get an opening for Essence, but with 3 members of Essence going down, it's just soon left up on that charger, and they are actually not letting go of mid. They are holding down, and this is actually working out great for them. The rest of the members of Essence are pushing forward through that, and once again, Essence here pushing the tower.
Sune able to continue to keep up the pressure here for Essence. Now, how much further we'll be able to take this is now we've got the Wiper player on top of Plat. Here comes the Stamp. Might be trying to cause a disruption, but again, just a bit too far ahead of things. And Cherry Limeade continues to utilize the range here to keep these things even. Now we'll see this ping pong back to the other checkpoint, Rissa, and I imagine Essence will be waiting with some of their range to continue trying to keep Cherry Limeade at bay.
Ping pong, that's a really, really good word for this, as it has been going back and forth, but Cherry Limeade able to get through that first checkpoint and now is going to continue counting down points for themselves. 2 members of Essence do go down, and Cherry Limeade is able to just keep juggling this tower. You see Lily there actually just trying to ride the tower through the second checkpoint and is able to. That's going to be huge for Cherry Limeade moving forward. Getting through those checkpoints is so important.
Those checkpoints will be massive in the future. It looks like Woomy there was trying to come up with a little solo play there on the Wiper, and it was able to stall things down at least for just a little longer. Now, though, trades back and forth as Essence starts to solidify their hold of mid. Here comes a lot of their specials, though, rather early to try to challenge the Plat alone, but they might have come away with it here. It's a 2-down situation for Cherry Limeade, which means that the rest of their members might be forced to back on away quite a bit, but now it's another 2-down as Pika was just able to come out of basically nowhere, charge forward on top of the tower, clear some of those members out, and now it's back to neutral.
This is exactly how Pika loves to play. Pika thrives when they are able to get flanks off and just play super aggressively. You can tell the rest of the Cherry Limeade knows that they can play around those, and they already are back on the tower. They're pushing the members of Essence back, and I love that the members of Essence are jumping back and making sure that they play this defense together. That way they don't get staggered. They're just going to try and set themselves up, get their specials ready, and guard the tower.
Limeade knows they don't need to push this, but if the opportunity presents itself, you best be assured that they will, and now already starting to do that as they take control of the opponent's bats. You see Grim start to move forward here on this 96 gal, which is this long-range weapon that'll continue to be oppressive, especially for these members of Essence who want to be up in their opponent's faces. We were talking about it earlier, but they haven't been able to do that because of the range that Cherry Limeade has at their disposal. Lily still trying to ride this tower forward, but it's another 2-down situation here for Essence. Pika continuing to move in here as well, but that is the tower hitting the end, and it'll be Cherry Limeade taking game 1.
Ooh, Cherry Limeade. I mean, for a little while there, like you said, that was pretty ping-pongy. It was going back and forth, and finally Cherry Limeade able to figure out exactly what they needed to do, get the upper hand. It seemed like, you know, what they were able to just kind of, like you've said, utilize their range, sit back, and make sure they let the other members of the other team just kind of push into them.
And look, right, at the end of the day, that's all they need to do, especially after they've cleared past 2 checkpoints. That's all they're going to do, right? This team, I think especially, is incredibly good at recognizing what that win condition is. And so if they're able to continue to keep that a little bit more calm, a little bit like what we were seeing Starburst do, right? Able to keep things back, let the opposing team try to be more aggressive, but keep them at arm's length away. Keep the pace down, keep it slower, and continuing to back up, utilize your range, then find those re-engagements when they can allow Pika to run in on that Tri-Slosher. Things will be set up incredibly well for them.
And thinking about this too from Essence's point of view, you know, what do they need to do against Cherry Limeade if they want to take this game too? I think one of the main things they're going to have to do is watch Pika and those flanks that happen, because it's not just watching Pika, but that is the opening that Cherry Limeade knows that they can take moving forward. So they're going to have to figure out how to make sure they're watching that flank, because that's what completely collapses onto them.
And by the way, you want to talk about watching flanks. Well, you're definitely going to need to do that on Rainmaker Hagglefish, which is where we're heading to next. That's one of these things here, right, where the second that you see, maybe it'll be Pika on the Tri-Slosher, maybe on the other side, we could see the Wiper run in right here for Essence, right? That'll be Woomy able to move in there, continuing to keep up the pressure for their team. And that's the other thing here too, is that I've watched some of these Wiper players on this map. It is so incredibly annoying to just have the perfect length of the side of the map just get immediately painted for you. In fact, you can hide it from most viewing angles, right? So that it's literally just the smallest sliver that you can't see, and then you swim up and randomly jump out of the opposite side. So those flank angles here can be incredibly dangerous if you're not paying attention on Rainmaker Haggle to get the neutral area of the map kind of swinging to one direction or another.
Thinking about that too with a Wiper and a Tetra, that's a lot of aggression, a lot of distraction that can happen. So if Essence is able to utilize that in terms of their flanks that they do, they're able to both flank at the same time or maybe play together on a flank. That's what they're going to be needing to do here in order to make something happen on Rainmaker Hagglefish.
And you look towards trying to get your opponent, or trying to get yourselves into the opponent's court, right? So then you get into that court, you start building up enough space to take that first checkpoint. Probably on the right side, but we've seen a lot more teams, I think, recently opt for that left checkpoint as well.
Yeah.
Which we're seeing kind of rise quite a bit in popularity. And then even if that first push doesn't end up working, you're probably going to try to go for that jump, right? Get from 60 down to 30 almost in an instant. And if you build up enough space in your opponent's court, which is something certainly that I imagine Baja will be able to do with those Tetras, where a lot of that open space, able to move around, continue to keep that pressure flowing, then things will probably be looking incredibly strong for them. Looks like, folks, we do have a slight tech issue there up on the stage. Maybe it's resolved at this point. As it looks like Toasty's now walking back down. Don't know exactly what the issue was. Must have been like a headset thing or something of this sort. Cable was unplugged. Yeah, that'll do it. Some of these cables have been finicky, but hey, that's life sometimes. That's why we're Grassroots, folks. How about a cheer for Grassroots Esports? Yeah. All right. There we go. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Oh.
No, you don't need to cheer for me. No.
Magic said, can we get a cheer for K-Bot?
No. You're not allowed to cheer for me. I haven't done anything for this event. I've done nothing. I've done nothing.
So?
You're not allowed to cheer for me.
So?
No. Boo. How about a boo for K-Bot instead?
Oh, I like that.
Boo. Boo, K-Bot. Boo. Boo. I don't even know what everyone's screaming at me. I've got a headset on. I can't hear you. Oh, no, he's got AirPods in. Magic's trying to have... Yeah, boo. Thank you. Thank you. Finally. What do you want now?
How are we supposed
What do you want?
Go over
Magic,
there?
why are you coming over here? What's going on?
Does anybody have a headset?
All right. There we go.
Look there. Coming in clutch. Thank you.
Coming in clutch.
Thank you.
Grassroots Esports, everybody.
This is exactly what we were talking
Grassroots
about.
Esports. There we go. That's huge. Oh, dear. Folks, this is, look, it might be a little scuffed and rough around the edges with people walking up and randomly the TO deciding to come over to the commentary desk and yell into the mic because now our audio is getting pumped out to the crowd. But look, this is what it's all about. These streams are about bringing the LAN experience to you. And for those of you that haven't been able to join us, which is probably a handful of you, especially, but not as many of you as normal because there were like 53 teams here.
Yeah.
And now we're down to the top 6.
Yeah.
But a lot of folks coming out for this one. But all these streams are about are trying to bring this all home to you all. So we hope you've been enjoying the show so far because, of course, we're having a lot of fun. We'll continue to have a lot of fun as this bracket goes on. And I'm sure we'll be getting into things in just a moment. Looks like we've got our player set up with that other headset. And hopefully we'll be getting into this one in just another moment. So... all right.
Ooh, and look at the prediction, too. It is like 50-50 right now. Essence with that 51%, Cherry Limeade with that 49%. So, I mean, we were talking about this when this started. This is really down to the wire. I could see this going either way, and that prediction definitely shows that.
You all in the chat are, you're riding the Essence high, and I can't blame you, right? A lot of folks looking at Last Resort, trying to favor them here. But now, of course, going up against Cherry Limeade first. Here we go, folks. It's finally time for Game 2. Rainmaker, Hagglefish Market coming together here. Similar composition now coming out of Essence and maybe a few mix-ups here in Cherry Limeade. And indeed, there it is. It's the Squeezer coming out for Pika.
Ooh, Squeezer coming off from Pika, so going to be able to utilize that Zuka that Squeezer does have. And both teams starting out here, I want to see who wants to try and get the initial pop. It looks like Cherry Limeade is going to be the team that gets the initial pop, but they have to be really careful. There is a crab out for Essence, and there is a complete wipe onto Cherry Limeade. Essence is not holding back. They are grabbing the Rainmaker and immediately pushing it to this first checkpoint, going on the right side checkpoint instead of the left one here.
Limeade try to play a little bit more aggressively, and now even still, they're trying to just drop in and trying to mitigate the bleeding as much as possible, but already you've given up a lot of space to Baja here in the court for the Tetra Duelies that are continuing to put in at least a little bit more work. Now it looks like Limeade is finally starting to clear things out. In Essence has decided to back on away. Smart play there, I think, from them. They'll be looking to try to hold on to their own checkpoints on the other side of the map, as now Limeade is starting to storm forward, and never mind, that first checkpoint is gone.
Yeah, Cherry Limeade gonna go ahead and just push immediately to that left side checkpoint and make sure that they clear it. Those checkpoints are so crucial moving forward throughout the rest of the match. There is about 4 minutes left of this and anything can happen, so just making sure that you get those checkpoints is really good. Now with 2 members down on Essence, Cherry Limeade is just holding mid with everything they have here, and they are actually grabbing the Rainmaker there on the left side. Krim grabs that Rainmaker, pushes it forward to secure the lead. The lead now to 47 for Cherry Limeade.
But while Krim might have secured the lead there with that little push, it's not a comfortable lead by any stretch of the imagination, because that jump, if they're able to get it on that right pedestal down to their opponent's side, is like nearly down to, what, 35 or something of the sort. And that'll be exactly what Essence is trying to set themselves up for, especially now that Krim is down. You see the mist, though, and the Ink Storm come out. This is the pressure that Jet Squelcher can provide here, and those kinds of defensive resources. And it's bought enough time for the rest of Limeade to start coming in, and you start to see the shots coming out. There it is. It's another 2-down situation. Wumi's trying to come in here looking for a trade. We'll be able to find at least one for the road here. And again, that'll slow the momentum at bare minimum for Cherry Limeade.
Cherry Limeade here now, making sure that the Rainmaker is in mid. They're trying to make sure that they get the mid control that they need. And actually a really nice charger pick there from Soon. So with that pick, you can see Essence here is using that Ink Strike to start moving forward, start securing more space. Baja grabbing the Rainmaker actually and rushing it through this left side. There are 2 members down on Cherry Limeade, and Baja is just rushing forward, able to secure the lead for Essence. But with Essence getting a complete wipe here, Cherry Limeade is going to have to figure out how to aggressively push up and get the lead for themselves.
Still anything can happen here, folks. We are only halfway through this game nearly, and both teams have had strong showings back and forth. Now it's Cherry Limeade trying to go for the offensive here, and there is the dunk with the hammer toss coming out of Wumi to secure that one back down. Essence will hold on to the lead for now.
Essence grabbing the Rainmaker again. You could see they popped the Rainmaker and Soon actually grabbed it right away. I think they want to just make sure that they're utilizing the specials when they have them, when they have that advantage state. And with Cherry Limeade having 1 member go down, Soon actually rushing the Rainmaker through this left side and getting more and more points for Essence. So Essence is just doing a great job and just continuing a lot of pressure and not letting go of the space that they keep getting.
And hey, I will keep harping on this point, but getting it down to 28 for them is huge. And now they're able to get the wipeout on a Cherry Limeade here as well. Limeade looking like they're the ones that are scrambling. Chris is trying to go for the dunk here, will get taken down now at the 13-point mark. And admittedly, these last few points here might be a little bit difficult, especially as Limeade starts diving at them even more. Here comes Krim, able to clean up that Rainmaker. There's the stamp, and now 2 members go down. The defense is finally held here for Limeade, but still down to 12 for Essence here, and you've got to be feeling they're pretty confident as long as they can hold on to these defensive resources, find some of these trades here as well.
Absolutely. They're going to have to get some trades here to try and just secure the space that they have and just get that advantage state. Cherry Limeade here pushing forward. Krim there is doing a really good job at taking on those fights, but unfortunately is out of ink. Soon pushes forward. This is an aggressive charger. Pushes forward, gets a pick, paired with this crab coming out from Chris.
But that's what the ZF Charger does. It takes those aggressive shots because it can. It has the wall at its disposal, and it wants to be able to capitalize off of any pressure that it might gain from those strikes. But now, that Charger, a little bit difficult for it to have a lot of a presence when this Rainmaker is pushed up to the left side. I imagine, though, Essence perfectly comfortable stalling this out for a while. Krim's able to come up with a secure, and now it's a 3-down for Essence. Again, 20 seconds left for Limeade to push this back to the other side of the map, though, Rissa.
Krim here uses his hammer and is able to get 2 picks. He throws that hammer, tries to get the third one, and forces that third member.
Baja was able to sneak up to the Rainmaker there, is able to find 2 for the trouble, and now with 5 seconds left to go, it'll be Limeade looking to try to get the repop here, but the crab take is out to prevent the pop from happening, and it's Essence that'll tie our series up.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know what that, yes, Among Us, yes, I love that. Essence there, just, it seemed like they really figured out what they needed to do. Maybe that map was just really comfortable for them. It seems like the Tetra, the Wiper, they were playing really well together, and that was just enabling things to consistently happen over and over.
I will say, though, I've been harping for both these teams a lot about their defensive resources. Limeade looking like they were a little struggling there. I think maybe that kind of composition for them was a little bit more difficult to play on the defensive side. You think of the Wiper, yeah, sure, sometimes it'll be able to be defensively strong, but other times, especially towards that left side of Hagglefish, there are a lot of weird angles, I think, for that Wiper to really start trying to shoot down, right? It's not going to have the ability to cover everything on each of those individual levels as that kind of staircase comes back up, right? So I imagine that might have been difficult, and then like around those corners and things. And the game plan might have been to try to keep them in front, but at the end of the day, we saw Essence able to start to sneak around some of those sides, those flank angles we were talking about in the last one. But folks, never mind that game. We're already heading into our game 3. It's Clamblitz Manta Maria now here, Rissa.
And with the score tied up here, anything can happen, like we have highlighted. And taking a look at these comps, we get to see, similar things from both teams. We see Lily actually switching over to that custom junior, so going to be able to utilize that Wavebreaker, those torpedoes for this. But along the rest of the weapons here, everything looking similar.
Good point you mentioned about those torpedoes. I imagine that'll be real difficult for Soon to deal with on that charger, right? If you have more of those torpedoes continuing to keep that pressure on yourself, you're going to have to squirm, and you have to imagine that's exactly what both Lily and Krim will be looking to do on those two weapons. And you see Lily just continuing to spam these torpedoes, basically, as now Pika goes up in the air on that Inkjet. They're looking to try to clear out and buy some space for them early, but it might backfire.
Yeah. Cherry Limeade here going to have to be really careful as there are now 2 members down. Lily is actually is Lily flanking? Excuse me? Lily, I was not sure what side of the map that was. Lily able to get a flank and a score in a clam, and not only scoring that initial clam, but scoring a few more clams to get the score even higher.
That's a Lily classic. I've seen that far too many times as I continue to watch them play, but only down to 74. That might have been a little excitement there early in the game, but still, this map is going to be all about the team that can capitalize on when that basket is open. Who's going to be able to push in and who's going to be able to dump in the most clams. And right now, Essence is starting to build up quite the clam count here, Rissa.
Yeah, Essence now actually doing a great job at pushing forward. They're controlling Cherry Limeade's bunker here. You see this Reef Slider come out, and it does get a pick with these remaining members of Cherry Limeade pushed into corners. Essence is doing everything they can to push forward, but Cherry Limeade, with the remaining 2 or 3 members, did a great job at completely stopping that push.
Beautifully done from Limeade to continue to sit back on some of those sides of the map, right? You saw Pika was completely unable to get shot at until someone started approaching, and Pika was able to pop out, slosh over a couple times, and completely clean things up. Still, once again, the defensive play for both these teams coming in strong, but now Trey's in the middle of the map. It's a 2-down situation for Essence, and we'll see if Limeade can start to move forward and be a little bit more aggressive with this. But again, they can't start losing themselves to Trey's either. So while they might have had a clam here start to be built up, we'll see if they can actually find the ability to push into the basket. Now though, Wavebreaker out. It looks like Lily's going to be able to find their way to the basket, and Shiny's going to be able to follow up with a few more. Here comes Pika coming in from behind. Going to be able to find one onto Wumi here as well, but Pika has no clams to their name. It's a wipeout here for Limeade, and now will they be able to extend this basket being open? It doesn't really look like it. But a nice shot there. Able to take out the charger in a trade nonetheless. Limeade, while they might not have had the strongest pushes scoring-wise, still putting on a show in terms of buying up some space and continuing to capitalize on some of those areas where your opponents don't have the ink.
They really are. That was the same thing I was going to highlight too. Cherry Limeade is just consistently having this mid control, and that's making it really difficult for Essence to even figure out how to get a push in for themselves. Soon here doing a good job at trying to guard this upper right side, but guess what? Lily sneaking forward again, opening up the basket for Cherry Limeade, and even though they didn't necessarily have any follow-up clams, that is once again going to be almost a distraction in a way and make Essence have to completely look back at that and make them regroup once again.
But as they regroup, where is the adaptation going to come in from? From Essence. They've got to find a way to continue to disrupt the things that Limeade is doing, hiding around some of these corners, and now Wumi's going to try to go in with this stamp. There's the Wavebreaker, completely gets canceled. Lily gets sent back to spawn, and the power clam's going to find the basket. Now the clams start to come out here as Chris starts to roll forward on this crab tank here as well. Shiny's in position to try to defend things here, but we're getting dangerously close to the lead, and there it is for Essence. Wumi starts to go in here looking for a few more, but it looks like the rest of the members of Essence are going to get taken out. It's a 3-down situation for them, and so they will take the lead, but still 70 seconds remain.
Still 70 seconds remain, and with the scores this close, anything can happen as we go into the last minute of this match. So Cherry Limeade now being the team that's going to push forward. They know that they need to score again if they want to get the lead. Trade happening on the board. You can see this power clamp being tossed forward. Cherry Limeade is able to open up the basket, and just like that, Cherry Limeade able to switch the lead.
Here comes Lily as well with a few extra clamps. They might be even going for the knockout here. No, Lily gonna get taken down. Crim will as well. Down to 15 here for Cherry Limeade. They've got to be feeling incredibly confident with this now. Can they hold?
Cherry Limeade, they have the mid control that they have consistently had throughout this game. They just keep holding mid. They're making it difficult for Essence to move. And now in the last 20 seconds of this, with 2 members going down on Cherry Limeade, this could be the opening that Essence needs in this advantage state. So they're able to take down another member of Cherry Limeade. They see them jumping into their street. They're hammering in. Let's see if they can get a clam in here to get the lead for themselves.
Strikes coming out, but Woomy gets taken down before those strikes completely finish. Chris is in position with no clams to their name, gets taken down as well. Baja's late to the party, and it's a 3-down situation for Essence. Limeade looks like they're going to be able to hold on. Will there be any miracle plays here? We've seen Soon hit a lot of these shots, but at this point, without a power clam to their name, the clam will despawn, and it's Limeade that'll take game 2. What was that chant?
I don't know. Limeade was, from our point of view, Limeade was doing a chant. You know, love the energy, love it.
Love the energy here, and look, love the energy even from both teams, right? I mean, Essence had a lot of strong showings in that map as well, but at the end of the day, right, this Manta Maria is just an incredibly difficult map to really find those holds on, really find those engagements on. And it looked like Essence didn't fully have a game plan for how they were trying to go in, how they were trying to get all those things done. And then, of course, I've mentioned it before, but the scramble at the very end of the game as well sometimes will be the difference maker in some of those cases. So we'll see here what happens as the rest of this starts to unfold. But now, of course, it's another map we're heading to, and that will be Splat Zones on Mekomar. And I have to imagine this might be one that Essence is looking forward to, with Tetra Dualies, with a ZF charger, a lot of these weapons, like some of the open sight lines and like some of the openings that Mekomar presents.
Yeah, and on Mekomar, if you're able to utilize the flanks really well, I could see that Tetra, Baja and the Tetra, I could see the Wiper just consistently utilizing their aggressive playstyles, their distractive playstyles, and just continuing to get flanks. So if they're able to do that and capitalize off of that, I can absolutely see them making something happen.
It's incredible to me how fast these teams are queuing up on the weapon select screen as that whistle blares once again. They know exactly what they want, and Limeade is sticking with the Tri-Slosher Wiper combination here. Same composition out of Essence as well, and we'll see if this pairing out of Limeade can start to disrupt some of the setup that Essence might be trying to do around their charger and buying some of that space. Crim dives in, already gets taken down. It's a 2-down situation for both teams now. Trades back the other direction here, and early fireworks, Rizza.
Early fireworks, and I love that Chris was able to get this crab and uses the crab right away, because with it being a 2v2, Chris is able to get jump-ins and just try and hold the space that they have. But with one member going down on Essence, Cherry Limeade is going to push forward, use that tri-strike. We see Crim push forward there on the right side and try to push through those tri-strikes, but did get called out. So now Essence, with 3 members down on Cherry Limeade, is going to push forward and get the zone for themselves.
Limeade tries to go for a little bit more of a play there, but they get punished for it. Brilliantly played by Essence. And now we'll see what else they can do as Woomy starts to go in with this stamp. Can't quite seem to find anyone in the chaotic mess of ink that all of that was. And now we're starting to see some of this go back the other direction. 2 down here for Limeade still. And now Soon is starting to get pressure by Pika, but it's a 3-down situation now for Limeade. Essence will hold on to this zone and continue ticking down that objective timer.
Yeah, Essence has no penalty points right now, so they're just continuing to count down points. And you can see, look at the aggressive playstyle here on the right side. Woomy and Baja were pushed up completely forward. Baja, they're actually jumping out because they recognized that they weren't able to hold that space anymore. Cherry Limeade able to capitalize off of the jump out, the picks that they were able to get, and now Cherry Limeade is going to have their time to take the zone back from themselves. They have no more penalty points. They're setting up for defense.
But now, how well is Cherry Limeade actually going to be able to hold? Because the more I look at it, the less stabilizing resources they have at their disposal, and especially with so many engagement tools, we're seeing Woomy run in with the stamp, we're seeing the Tetras try to dive in towards them, and then the stabilization tools of the Charger and the Crab Tank. Looks like, though, even still, Essence might have come away with the zone, but they might not come away with the members alive. Here comes Pika, able to find one, and now seeing this swing back and forth. Again, the neutral trades come back. Krim continues to be a thorn in the side of Essence, and it looks like it'll be another cap for Limeade.
This is just going so back and forth. This is another one of those ping pong matches where it's just consistently going back and forth and back and forth. What a nice hammer yeet that we saw. 3 members just taken down right there by Krim, doing a great job, and I love that we got to see it from their point of view as well. So Cherry Limeade, now it's their turn to count points. They have no penalty points.
Oh, look at this. Pika and Krim continue to duo here, and even though that was a trade, I think that's good for Limeade because it prevents pressure away from the zone. You see Chris now trying to pop the Scrap Tank, trying to approach from this far side, but Limeade takes the lead in the interim. Baha now looking for a play, is going to start to run forward here, gets pressured though on top of the stack, and there's Krim coming in from the other angle once again. 1 for 1, down on both sides of the map, and now it's 3 down for Essence. They're not going to be able to hold on to the zone here, and they'll have to go back to the drawing board to find another engagement.
They are going to have to figure out how to re-engage this. With 2 members going down, they have to figure out how to get their specials here. They're going to have to figure out what they need to do to push back in. Cherry Limeade using these tri-strikes to just call out any members. And it looks like they're actually trying to funnel them. They were trying to funnel them there to the right side so Krim could get the picks on them. But now, with essentially a trade on the board here, Essence has to get back into the zone.
Pico is looking for a trade there, didn't quite find it. Now the Reef Slider comes out. Baha doesn't quite cap the zone with it here, but you have to imagine that's soon to follow for Essence, and it will. It's a 1-down situation only for Cherry Limeade, and here comes Krim, though, looking from the flank angle. Found a way to get behind them, and now Essence is forced to commit defensive resources back the other direction. Won't be able to come up with that stamp, but it's a 2-down situation for Cherry Limeade. It looks like Essence will continue to try to keep this stable, but again, will they be able to do that? Set up the Charger. Do they have the Crab Tank? It looks like, though, they're going to be able to, and actually, it'll be towards Limeade to try to find the engagement. The strikes come out, keeping Limeade back for a moment. Won't be trying to find this, but no, it's going to get taken down in the process. Pika and Krim back on this side. They're looking for something here. The stamp comes out. It hits the zone, going back to the favor of Limeade. Pika able to come up with one. Krim able to team up and continue pushing forward. It's the team play and the synergy for this Limeade team that continues pulling them through. They're able to hold on to the lead here, Rissa, and they're looking to maybe go for the knockout now.
They are. They have essentially here no more penalty points, and as we go into the last 30 seconds of this, they have to know, okay, we just need to make sure that we're painting the zone. But with this Reef Slider coming out from Baha, are they going to be able to capitalize off of that? It looks like they are finally, with only 1 member left of Cherry Limeade. Essence pushes forward through that Reef Slider, gets the zone for themselves, and with only 20 seconds here, Cherry Limeade has to figure out how to get back into the zone.
Stamp comes out of Woomy. He's going to get collapsed on by Cherry Limeade. Now it's a 2-down situation as Baha went down as well. The defensive resources are starting to wane now, and Krim's able to find one onto Chris, capping the zone for Cherry Limeade with just a few seconds left to play. Essence is starting to jump in, trying to paint the zone, but they don't get the fight, and it's Cherry Limeade that'll continue on in the event.
Oh my goodness gracious. Definitely GG's to both of these teams. That was an awesome set for us to watch. And right there at the end, I mean, that got down to the wire. That was just a great showing from both of these teams.
Yes, it was. And again, like, look, Essence, by the way, still has played incredibly strong. They were able to get that victory over Last Resort today. In that, there were so many close things back and forth. I think especially, like, look, first game you play, start to be a little nervous. Then you start to figure out what's going on as you continue to keep this up. And look, you see the conversations back and forth there at the end of this one. The players obviously sharing their experience together, because that's what all this is about, is sharing this experience with the room and the crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got to go over, say GG's. I mean, just highlighting what each other was doing there was so good. And I mean, that was great. That was great to watch. Ooh, are we getting Cherry Limeade stickers?
Do you want, you realize you already gave me one of these earlier today, right? Another one for the stream.
Is this a sponsor?
I wish I could. It's.
I'm just kidding. It's shiny. That was shiny of Cherry Limeade.
That
Thank
was
you
shiny
so
of
much.
Cherry Limeade. They've been giving out the small little stickers all weekend, and there it is. Now it comes over to the commentary desk to do that at the end of their win. So well done there, and hats off. Look, of course, Essence knocked out of the tournament, but again, look, at this event, we're talking about these teams that are so close together. Of course, somebody has to make the cut, but you've got to be feeling pretty good about how you played here.
Oh, absolutely. Just feeling good about that. That score was a 3-1. It was really, really close, obviously, which we just saw. But have to be feeling good, knowing that you're still continuing on through the bracket. You were able to play that set really, really good.
Yeah, so we'll see what all happens here. Of course, Cherry Limeade now will await the winner of Smoothie versus Last Resort. Next losers bracket match that's going to be coming up here in just a little bit. Of course, both these teams going to be looking for something. I think Smoothie and Cherry Limeade played earlier today, where Smoothie 3-0'd Cherry Limeade. So I imagine Cherry Limeade, frankly, I know that they'll be looking forward to the match either way,
yeah,
right? Either
absolutely.
a crack at Last Resort or a crack back towards Smoothie. So we'll see what happens here as we start to get set up for our next match. But yeah, I'm excited to see how the rest of this one plays out, Rissa.
I know, me too. I mean, how many times can we highlight how close these sets have been? Because, it's going to be so fun. I mean, Smoothie versus Last Resort, that's going to be one of, I feel like it's going to be reminiscent of that set we just watched. It's going to feel really close and really, really good.
Yeah. So we'll see what all happens. As now we send it over to some of these replays from our last match. I will say the other thing that I do want to highlight here again is something that I was kind of picking up on towards the very end, but the ability for both Pika and Krim to sync up, especially when Pika was in Inkjet. Krim might have been off doing something completely different on a flank angle or something, and then Pika pops the Inkjet, and they're both looking towards the same direction to try to capitalize on some of those things. Those kinds of plays are always what you want to see, and being able to plan some of those things out with your teammates in this competitive environment sometimes can make the difference.
Yeah, and that's too paired with the flanks that Pika was able to pull off. Just making sure that, okay, we know that Pika is flanking. Let's go ahead and just take mental note of that. Wait till we see Pika making touchdown with the other team and then pushing forward through that. Stuff like that, that's that team synergy that you need.
Yeah. So fantastic stuff there now. And of course, we start to see some of this more from the Clan Blitz game as well, especially some of these Lily classics that come in. Just a random football gets thrown in with a junior rat able to go back to the other side of the map. And of course, Limeade was able to come away with this one at the end of things, just based on everything that was happening here.
Looking at these replays too, man, this was so good. Also, we saw so many good hammer plays happen. I love that we saw a lot of hammer 1v1s as well. Those were really, really fun to watch, and we got to see a lot of them from their point of view as well.
And it's worth noting too, one of these things with that Splatoon wiper is sometimes you do want to try to have that hammer to dig you out from a tough position, but that decision making of knowing when you want the hammer, knowing when you want to completely ditch the hammer and have that long range spread pattern, all of those things and that decision making in the moment is something that these players have to be incredibly strong with across the board to be able to come back and really use their weapons to their full effect.
Yeah. I feel like you really have to play the weapon a lot. That way you figure out, okay, this is when we need to do this with the hammer. This is when I just need to paint with the weapon. This is when I need to actually throw the hammer to create space. You have to really hone in on those.
And look, at the end of the day, this weapon can do so many different things, whether it be trying to stall things out, keep things that don't almost go away, go in, try to find those engagements, pair up for some cleanup, and things of this sort. But I believe Stu is standing by with a player from Cherry Limeade to get their thoughts on their last set.
Thank you very much, K-Bot. And indeed, we are here with Pika. First of all, give it up for Cherry Limeade, that victory in losers quarterfinals. Now, Pika, I have to know, when it went to 1-1, I have to know, what was the talk? What was the talk in the huddle? Because I think you and Lily are kind of counted on to be stabilizing forces for this team. You've been around since the very first game, and they kind of have to look to you for the leader. What were the words?
Honestly, we knew their comp was crazy good on Haggle, so we kind of said that's their best map to go next, to be honest. We also said, Charger is a really good, as soon as Charger is insane. That's a big problem for us getting random picks on, Shiny and Lily, giving us, taking away all of our good specials. So we're saying, play around Sune, shot call around that, push them whenever you can. That's basically what we're saying. But we knew Haggle's going to be rough going into it, just, again, by the nature of, all they have is fast-moving weapons, a long range. Haggle's not going to be easy. I have to flex off Slosh there, saw the squeezer.
It seems like you knew that you had to get in and really just kind of punch him in the mouth, and it seems like you did that. Certainly in game number 3, metaphorically speaking, of course, but game number 3 with Clams, trying to find those routes in, and certainly, you know, taking advantage, getting in right and close to the basket. You had to make up for that range somehow, but y'all pulled it off masterfully.
Yeah, thank you. It helps to also have Lily be an insanely good clam blitz rat, just getting power clams under their basket whenever they least expect it. We barely even expect it half the time, but it just means that those pushes just surprise them so much.
And we saw the last game. I mean, two players between y'all that had 16 kills. In fact, it was Shiny, I believe, was 16-1 in the last game. So yeah, he deserved that. Honestly, go ahead, man. That's it. But I mean, it's very clear that you had the taste of blood in your mouth. You knew that you had to finish it off. It was intense. I mean, you just what was it? You focused in and you got the job done. But what's going through your mind when you just know you have to get the splats in order to get it done?
Oh man, I mean, it's always just thinking like, no matter how much you respect your opponent or like how much pressure is there, just know like if you don't go for the kills, you don't take a chance at it, you're definitely going to lose. So even if you're just like panicky, even if it's again just a crazy situation, just take a shot at that kill. If you get it, you'll win. If you don't go for it, you definitely won't win. So it's just conquering that fear. Just knowing like we have to get these kills to win.
You took the risk. It paid off. Pika, congratulations. Once more for Cherry Limeade. 3-1 winners. We'll send it back to the desk. K-Bot, Rissa, take it away.
That was Pika, of course, from Cherry Limeade, who now awaits the winner here of Smoothie and Last Resort, Rissa. And we won't be casting this one, but this should be a fun one to watch.
Oh, absolutely. I'm kind of excited because now we get to actually go to the crowd and just enjoy this and really watch them from a spectator point of view.
You do.
What are you doing?
I'll be running back and forth on the stage coaching Sonder in a bit when they come back on. So, of course, you'll see me, and I'm sure you'll, but, you know, whatever. I'll probably be doing a little bit of panicking. But in that event, folks, we will be signing off and passing the mic on over to Popgun and Falco, who will be rounding out the night tonight. We hope you stick around. We'll be right back with more Splatoon action from Low Tide City on the other end of this short break.